Welcome to my Diablo 4 content.
Hey, honey, you know that new video game I've been waiting to come out? It come out today, and you're not going to see me for several days. What's up, gamers? Today we're going to be discussing why I'm going Barbarian. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going Barbarian in the new Diablo 4, and I'm so excited. It's right there in our grasp. Less than 6 hours away from being able to play this epic game that's taken like 10 years to create. Was a huge Diablo 3 fan, obviously. Diablo 3 play in the background. I didn't get to play the betas because I was just putting it off intentionally so I could get that, you know, I didn't want to get all excited and hype and play the beta and then have to wait. So I just decided to wait in general. But yeah, we're going to be pumping out lots of lots of content to come with Diablo 4. I'm going to make a huge content shift to Diablo 4. For those of you that still watch my Grounded content, I'm still going to make videos for Grounded as well. But I'm going to be hitting Diablo 4 really hard, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, how-tos, when-tos, go-tos, tips and tricks, builds, all the classes, everything. Right here on my channel. So if you enjoyed my content so far, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more. And we're going to get into the reason that I'm choosing to go Barbarian. Obviously, I'm a huge Barbarian fan. Huge fan of my Leapquake build that I only ever got to Greater Rift 84. I don't know, you know, if it ever got much further than that. I quit playing a couple years ago. But the Leapquake build is so much fun. It doesn't look like that build's going to be super viable unless there's something that I'm missing. It looks like Whirlwind Barb is going to be the wave. Shout out to Rob on YouTube. I'll leave a link to his content down below. We're going to be using some of his build stuff for a reference to go over the synergy and everything of the Whirlwind Barb build. So stay tuned for that. But I say we go ahead and get into it and try and see if we can't figure out how we're going to start this thing off tonight. All right, so here's kind of what the skill tree looks like. This is definitely a lot different setup here. You know, like I was saying, I didn't get a chance to check out the beta, so just kind of going over Rob's thing here. And I'll leave a link for this down in the description as well as a link to Rob's YouTube for providing this super awesome intel here. But it looks like, you know, I've done a Barbarian Whirlwind build way back when it was better than Leapquake was on D3. Like I said, I don't know where it ended up landing with the Leapquake thing, but I sure would like to try and experiment with that once we get our hands on this game. But here we go. He's got 5 points in the Whirlwind, which is obviously, you know, rapidly attacking. Whirlwind spin attack. You gain 1 Fury each time Whirlwind deals direct damage to an enemy. Okay, so that's our Fury generation for Whirlwind. Apparently this build, too, is extremely cumbersome on Fury consumption, so we're going to have, like, shouts and things like that to try and keep our Fury gauge up. Also here, huge key thing to note here is while using a slashing weapon, Whirlwind also inflicts 40% of its base damage as bleeding over 5 seconds, which is super jives with this down here, hamstring right here. And this is cool where the synergy starts to come together. Is your bleed effects also slow enemies. And then we come up here. Where's it at? So the bleed effects slow. And then, yeah, right here. You have a 9% increased critical strike chance against immobilized, stunned, and slowed enemies. So boom, right there. I mean, we go bleed. And then they're bleeding with the slashing weapon, and then they're also slowed, and they're also, you know, we also going to deal an additional 9%, or have an additional 9% critical strike chance, which is going to be freaking huge. I really can't wait to try this build out. Honestly, I'm not sure how long it's going to take to level and everything like that, but best believe I'm going to sit here and freaking World of Warcraft it, South Park style, and we're gonna just sweat it out. So here we've got our different rallying cries and stuff like that. Fury generation. Also another huge thing with Diablo that I'm seeing is vulnerability, so that you're constantly going to be making enemies vulnerable, and that's going to be its own separate, debuff, which is really going to allow us to do a lot of damage. So that vulnerability stat may be huge, honestly. Core skills deal 135% increased damage, but cost 100% more fury. So that's where that real big fury consumption comes in once you get your ultimate passive ability down here. So that's super awesome. 135, that's a lot of extra damage. Holy smokes. But also a lot more fury consumption. Fortified as well. I know there's some weapons and armor and stuff, and this bracer right here is gonna be a big part of this build. Whirlwind explodes after it ends, dealing 50-70% of your total base damage dealt surrounding enemies as fire damage. So literally, if you're whirlwinding and you go through a whole entire mob, 50-70% of the damage you dealt to everything that you just hit is going to explode as one singular hit. So you could, whirlwind a bunch of mobs, and then you get to an elite, and you let it go, and it explodes for all the damage you just dealt as a whirlwind. Something like that, if I'm catching that right. I'm not 100% sure about all these aspects, honestly. I don't really understand this part yet. I'm going to have to get into the game to really get it figured out. But the moral of the reason behind this whole video is I'm going to play Barbarian because I love Barbarian. And at the moment, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of the game. But like I said, I promise we're going to be knocking out some serious Diablo content, and I just really can't wait to get into it tonight. So yeah, hopefully you guys will come along with the journey for me, and drop down in the comments what class you're going to be using and what build you're looking forward to with that class. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me, and yeah, until next time, peace.